Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to draw some squares and turn them into cubes using 1-point perspective. So step one, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your sketchbook is horizontal, not vertical, horizontal. Then you're going to determine where is going to be your horizon line. Should be somewhere across the center of your page. Now remember, you can pause this video at any time so that you can follow along. So there's my horizon line. I'm now going to draw my vanishing point in the center of the page. Does not need to be perfect. Don't worry about it if it's not exactly centered. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 3 squares. Now I'm using a clear ruler, which really helps because it's see-through. So I'm going to start by drawing my first square above and to the left of the vanishing point. Now the square does not have to be perfect. So don't worry about it if it's more rectangular, not a problem. The next one I'm going to draw is going to be on my horizon line to the left of my vanishing point. Again, it does not matter if it's not perfect. Just do your best. Lastly, I'm going to go to the other side of my vanishing point, so I'm below my horizon line and to the left of my vanishing point. Sorry, to the right of my vanishing point. All right, so we've got 3 squares, but we need to turn these squares into cubes. Now, if you imagine that the horizon line is your eye level, so the horizon line is where you're looking at something. You're standing right at the horizon level, looking directly at this box. That means if something is above the horizon line, you're looking up at it. If something is below the horizon line, you're looking down at it. So let's start with the box that's above our horizon line, the one that we're looking up at. If we had a box above us floating in the sky, we would be able to see the front of the box, the bottom of the box, and one side of the box. So let's look at how we're going to do that. You want to go from the 3 corners that can reach the vanishing point without going through the square. So we don't want to go through our square because that would make our box see-through. So I'm going to start with the bottom left corner. Doesn't matter which one you start with. And I'm going to draw a line from the bottom left corner to my vanishing point. So first I'm looking to make sure that I'm lined up. Bottom left corner to vanishing point. I'm now going to go from my bottom right corner to my vanishing point. Next, I'm going to go from my top right corner to my vanishing point. All right, now it should kind of look like you've got a box that's going on and on and on forever. If you imagine that you're in an airplane, it kind of looks like you're looking down at the top of a building or an apartment building, let's say, that goes on and on towards the ground. So again, as I said before, we're not going to draw a converging line from this corner. If we did, it would go straight through our cube, and we don't want that. So we've got our 3 converging lines. Now we need to close off this box. It goes too far, too long. We need it to be a shorter box. So this is the hardest part. This is where our mind tends to play tricks on us. You have to remember that what happens in the front happens in the back. So if this is the front of the back of the box is going to look very similar. So if in the front of the box, along the bottom edge, we have a horizontal line, then in the back of the box, we're going to have also a horizontal line. So you're going to line up your ruler to the bottom edge of your box. Then you're going to slide your ruler down. Now here's where our mind tends to play tricks on us. A lot of students at this point will start turning the ruler. That's not correct. You want to make sure that your ruler is still parallel to this line here. It should also be parallel to your horizon line and to the edge of your page. So always make sure that you stop. Use your eyes to make sure that you haven't turned your ruler. So again, line it up to the bottom edge, slide it down, make sure that it is still parallel to this edge, to your horizon line, and to your page. And you're going to now draw a line in between the 2 converging lines, like so. Now we've closed the bottom edge of the box. So now we're looking up at this box. We can see the bottom of it and we can see the front of it. We've got to make sure that we can see the side of it too. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, but this time we're lining up with the vertical edge. So I'm lining up my ruler. Now I'm going to slide it over, but I'm going to make sure that I am still parallel to that line I started with. I could also look at the edge of my page and make sure that I'm still parallel to that. So you've noticed I've slid it over, and then once I hit that bottom edge that I just created, I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to draw a vertical line in between those two converging lines, like so. I now have a cube. All I need to do is erase these extra converging lines that go outside of the box. It's okay if they're not fully erased. Don't worry about that, but what should happen when you finish erasing them is it should look like you've just drawn a cube floating in the air. You can see the underside of it, the front, and one side. Let's do the same thing with the cube that's, with the square that's below our horizon line. So again, we need to figure out which three corners are closest to the vanishing point that we can draw our converging lines from. We're not going to go from this point, because if we go from this point, it's going to go through our cube. We don't want that. So choose a side. I'm starting with the bottom right corner, lining up my ruler, bottom left corner, and straight to the vanishing point. Top left corner, straight to the vanishing point. Now I've got my top right corner to my vanishing point. Again, we have this box that goes on and on forever. We need to close the box. Remember, what happens in the front happens in the back. So if this is the front of our box, the back is going to look just as straight. So I'm going to start with my vertical edge, lining up my ruler. I'm sliding it over, and I'm looking to make sure I'm still parallel to the edge of my page and still parallel to this vertical line. I do not want my ruler to tilt. And this is where most of the mistakes happen here. Our minds play tricks on us. So line it up, slide it over as much as you'd like, and go ahead and draw a vertical line in between the two converging lines, like so. Do the same thing for the top edge of the box. So line it up, slide it until you hit that vertical line you just created, and go ahead and draw a horizontal line, making sure your ruler is perfectly horizontal, like so. So since this cube is below the horizon line, we can see the top of it, we can see the front of it, and we can see the side of it. You'll notice something, hopefully, that the front edge of the cube has a vertical line and a horizontal line. The back edge of the cube also has a vertical line and a horizontal line. They're exactly the same. 1, 2. Same angle. All right, and now, of course, you can erase those extra converging lines. You don't need them anymore. All right, let's do the last cube. Now this cube is different because it's on our horizon line, which means that it's right at our eye level. So if you imagine a box sitting in front of you, you're not going to be able to see the top of it, and you're not going to be able to see the bottom of it. So we're only going to be able to see the front, which we've drawn already, and the side, which we're going to create now. So just like before, we're going to go to the corners that are closest to the vanishing point, and we're going to draw a converging line. So I'm going to start from the bottom corner, and now the top corner. Now, if you, for some reason, decided you wanted to do these corners as well, what you would hopefully notice right away is that you can't really do them because those converging lines would go through the box, and we don't want that. So please do not do these two corners. You're only doing the corners that can go to the vanishing point without going through the square. All right, so we've got our box that goes on and on forever. I know it looks a little funny when it's on the horizon line, but let's finish it up. So you're going to line up your ruler to the edge that is closest to the vanishing point. That's a vertical line there. I'll line it up this way so you can see how I'm going to move it. Slide your ruler over. Do not curve it. Make sure it is still perfectly vertical. And go ahead and draw that vertical line in between your two converging lines. And there we have a cube on the horizon line. We need to now erase the extra 2 converging lines, which we no longer need. And we can also erase the horizon line because that's going through our cube, which is making it a little confusing. So again, this cube is at our eye level. We can't see the top, we can't see the bottom, we can only see the front and the side. All right, now that you've done 3 cubes, it's your chance to try and do a few more cubes without using this video. So you can watch a couple more examples that I'm going to do right now, and then I'd like you to create at least 2 more cubes on your own until you feel like you can do it by yourself. This is something you can practice anywhere. It doesn't have to be in your sketchbook. As long as you create a horizon line and a vanishing point, you can create cubes anywhere on this page. So I'm going to go